So it seems like the public has finally turned on Taylor. And you know what? I was kind of surprised to see him in the bottom, but then I kind of realized Alondra has a lot of support. And Taylor found that out in this episode because his ass almost went home. The first inkling of the public turning on Taylor was basically they had this whole challenge where they get to see how the public views them. There was a sort of poll that was sent out for the public to vote for, most to least loyal, genuine, boyfriend material, etc. Taylor came last in every single one. And I feel like that's when he definitely realized, oof, I'm in deep shit with the public. And I think Alondra definitely was sitting there very smug, vindicated, and felt validated. Because yes, even though I have been saying Alondra has been delusional, she needs to leave Taylor. It was very clear Taylor didn't like her, but bottom line, Taylor did waste her time. And even though I do feel like Alondra should have read in between the lines and read that the behavior is giving that he doesn't like her, Taylor absolutely should have kept it real with Alondra and said, I'm not interested in you. I get it, self-preservation, he's got to stay on the show, but at the very least, when he got with Clark, he should have deaded it with Alondra. Because now it's just, you've already got someone now, you're not even just using her as a place in the villa anymore. Like, you can let her go now. You can let her go. I don't know whether he just didn't really want to do it, whether he didn't want to be mean. I don't know what it was, but at the same time, Taylor should have told Alondra, he should have. But I still stand by my stance that Alondra was being delusional, thinking Taylor actually liked her. I've been on the let's get Taylor out train from the beginning, but now I actually don't mind him being in there. But it seems like America was trying to get him out. And also with Clark, same thing was happening. She was getting voted the least and everything. So now Taylor, of course, has an inkling. Okay, now Clark is even collateral here. I've got a big issue on my hands if I'm thinking about my longevity on the show. The vote comes, 3 people in the bottom. Clark actually is not in the bottom, but Taylor is. He's one of the 3 that are up on the one of the 3 boys that are on the chopping block to go home. And I think he knows that the fact that he is there, despite being saved constantly by the public and literally Casa and more boys being saved over him, he knows that he's fucked up. He ends up being saved. Alondra is not one of the votes that saved him. And I think he was a little bit pressed about that simply because he did save her when it was her time to be on the chopping block. But granted, he was the one who put her there in the first place. And this time around, he put himself there. He's saved. They're still in the house. And I think now there's a question mark between them. Because if his whole game plan has been self-preservation, he's here for clout, he's just been using Alondra, surely he might think, let me just go back to her and continue to use her to stay in the house longer. Because, you know, now that he's with Clark, suddenly now he's on the chopping block. Will he now think for his game plan, he needs to spin the block with Alondra? I think that could be the only way the public may save him, or maybe he just needs to stick it out with Clark. I actually do like them as a couple. I think with the male challenge, him coming for Alondra, basically saying that he's been selfish this whole time and he doesn't really give a fuck about her like she does about him, rub people the wrong way. And yes, I think Alondra was delusional, but this is coming at it from the game point of view, right? The dating game point of view. Men are selfish at the end of the day. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile, and that's exactly what Taylor did. And, you know, I feel like in the dating game as women, we need to have discernment, right? And Alondra, despite saying she has good discernment or having good discernment on other people's situation, to her situation, she just seemed to be blind. But if we're coming from it from an empathetic view, Taylor absolutely wasted Alondra's time. And he could see that she was putting in all this effort and still he wasn't saying, girl, stop. I want to be with Clark. He didn't even need to say, I don't want you. I'm dumping you. All he needed to say was, look, I'm prioritizing my connection with Clark. And you know, that's what I'm focusing right now. I think you should explore other people. That would have said it without it being mean, and it would have made the message clear so she could stop being delusional. Taylor was not giving her much, to be honest. He knew that she was, 100% for him. And he definitely wasn't clear when he could have been. And he definitely didn't use his words when he could have. Like I said, I'm not mad at anybody trying to preserve their game. But when Clark came, that's when he should have deaded the situation, in my opinion. Yes, Alondra should have seen the signs, of course. But Taylor, he still should have told her that he wasn't interested. So I can absolutely see why he is the bad guy in the public's eyes. Because has he done nothing wrong? No, he hasn't done nothing wrong. He should have told Alondra that he didn't want her. Despite how we feel like Alondra should have been able to see the signs, he should have just told her straight up, it's not going any further. I'm focusing on Clark at the very least. So yeah, I'm not surprised that he got tanked. I'm not surprised that he got voted low. I do feel a bit bad for Clark because I feel like she is just collateral. I don't think that she's necessarily the most dishonest person in the house. If anything, she's been keeping it real, to be honest, and she's been keeping it real with Alondra. So I'm not really here for the public antagonizing Clark. I do think she has a bit of support because she wasn't in the bottom. But yeah, I'm quite intrigued to see how Taylor moves moving forward, because there's rumors about him that he's only on the show for clout. He's here to boost his modeling portfolio. He allegedly has a girlfriend on the outside. If he really is here purely for clout, how is this going to inform how he moves next in the house? I got to hear your thoughts on the whole situation. Do you think the public has been too harsh for Taylor, or do you feel like this was always going to be the natural result? I got to hear from you guys.